Update. Am I the a-hole for not giving my girlfriend my social security number so she can run a background check on me? Original post. I, 27 male, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, 31 female, for almost a year now. This evening, she sat me down and said she needed to have a serious conversation with me, and then she asked for my social security number. I said absolutely not. Why would you need that? She told me about her ex-boyfriend who was basically living a double life. He had a bunch of criminal charges in his past that he'd never told her about, and eventually exposed her to some sketchy and dangerous behavior before she broke things off after he cheated. I said, okay, thank you for telling me that, but what does that have to do with my social security number? She said ever since then, she's had her friend who works for the federal government run background checks on people to make sure they're safe. And because our relationship is progressing, she needs to know I'm a safe partner for her. So she wants my social security number to check my criminal history. Now, for the record, I don't even have a parking ticket. I'm a nerd and a gym rat. All I do is work, go to school, play Dungeons and Dragons, come home, watch anime, rinse and repeat. So I don't care about the background check. She won't find anything, but I'm not giving out my social security number. I don't feel comfortable enough providing that to her friend. When I said that, she got upset and said I don't understand what women go through and that it's about safety. I admitted she's right. I have no idea what women go through, but that doesn't mean I'm giving my social security number out to a complete stranger. She said he isn't a stranger. He's one of her best friends and married to a close friend of hers. I said, honey, that's great, but I don't know him. I don't trust him because I don't know him. That's my information you're asking for. You can trust him with your personal information if you want, but no one I don't know is getting my social security number or critical details. It's just not happening. She said our relationship isn't going to be able to progress unless I give him my social security number because she needs to know that she's safe. And she's offended that I don't trust her taste in friends. I got up and left at that point and told her I respect her concerns, but her past trauma doesn't give her the right to try and strong-arm me into giving out sensitive information to someone I don't know, just because he works for the federal government and has access to a database. I used to work for the federal government, so I can say from experience, everyone working there isn't some wonderful person. I'm not assuming he is a monster or anything, but just working for the feds doesn't prove anything to me. She called me insensitive and hasn't spoken to me since. Personally, I feel like she was gaslighting me into giving her what she wants, but I'm not sure. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. Sketchy AF. Is this relationship progress about moving in together or intimacy? It's kinda giving me a long-distance vibes along with scam. Trust your gut. Yeah, it's about moving in together. She's talking about wanting to take the next step in our relationship, which I was cool with until this. At least she dropped her crazy bomb on you before y'all moved in together. She's using real female victim situations to manipulate you into risky behavior. That's really crappy in so many ways. I would honestly break up over this, and I'm a woman too. I've been married to my husband for over 5 years, and we've been together for almost 13 years, with 2 kids ages 11 and almost 9. And he doesn't even know my social security number. I don't know his. We don't know our kids. They're all safe stored in our safe, but we don't use each other's info, and I only use the kids when we are dealing with stuff like healthcare. If she seriously thinks that's the only way for her to be safe with you is to use your personal info for a full background check, there is no trust in your relationship already. Don't give in here. Not the a-hole. I'm a federal employee who does have access to some systems like that in order to locate people. And it is 100% against the law to use them for personal reasons. In fact, we have to try all other reasonable ways to find someone before using these systems. There is something sketchy there. Also, you don't need a social security number to do a background check. A name and address or birth date are enough. Full name with address or a birth date is absolutely enough. I just had a background check completed. I've had them every 5-ish years for the last 20 because I volunteer with children. Some were in-state, some federal. I also have been screened by the government for a permit several times. I have never had to provide a social security number. Sadly, I think your girlfriend may be the criminal, and you may be her long con mark. I just said the same thing. She's up to something. No one's risking their career for this girl. Now for the update. After reading the comments I've been getting over the last few days, I decided to call her on New Year's Eve and give things one last chance, because I'm the type of person that needs to know I did everything I could before I walk away from a relationship. Some people said she had valid concerns, she just went about them the wrong way, which made sense. I told her, I understand and respect your need to ensure your safety, but I'm not willing to potentially compromise my safety to make you feel safe by handing over my social security number to someone I don't know and don't trust. And it's illegal for him to even use a federal database for personal reasons. So that's out. But what I will do is pay for a background check of your choosing, so long as it's legitimate service, and give you the results. I will not be providing my social security number to anyone, but my address, date of birth, etc. are all fair game. She refused and said that she had chosen a background check and that's having her friend do it because she knows that she can trust him. So I said, if that's how you feel and you won't budge, then the issue here is trust. And I'm not willing to stay in a relationship with a woman that doesn't trust me because of some stuff that doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm not paying for another man's sins, and I'm not giving you my social security number because your ex was a criminal. She started crying and asking why I can't understand that it's not about me, it's about her. I said, you made it about me when you asked for my social security number. She got pissed and started accusing me of lying about caring about her safety, saying that if I really cared, that I'd have no problem doing this because I don't understand how vulnerable women are in society. So I said, I was willing to work with you up to a reasonable point, but now you're just trying to manipulate me, and I don't feel safe being with you anymore. Because if this is how you react when you don't get your way about having my social security number, what happens the next time we have a major disagreement or a serious situation come up? Are you going to keep crying to try and get your way, or throw out another ultimatum to try and force me into doing what you want? She started saying that, as a man, I can't understand what it's like to go through life as a woman and have to be afraid, and that this is what she has to do for her safety and security, and I need to just respect that and give her what she needs for her comfort. I said, I tried to compromise. You wouldn't accept it. There's nothing more to say here. And to be clear, I wasn't exactly calm. I have severe anxiety, so this was a really hard conversation for me to have. I was actively pacing around my house, sweating and forcing words out the entire time. Then she started crying and asking about New Year's because we were supposed to spend it with her parents. I said, you should have thought about that before you try to strong-arm me into getting your way. This isn't an and everyone stood up and applauded moment. That's just how things went. I hung up and now we're over. Obviously, I'm hurt, but I'm realizing I dodged a bullet because there's no reason things could have gotten this freaking messy. And before anyone tries to jump me in the comments, again, I offered to pay for the check. She refused because it wasn't the test she wanted. I feel like I made a good faith effort to resolve things. Hate to ring in the new year without a kiss under the mistletoe, but it is what it is. I don't know if she really is that concerned I'm some lunatic criminal, or if she's trying to scam me like a lot of you said. Either way, it's over now. As a woman, I don't understand her need for a social security number. Lol. Good riddance and Happy New Year. Exactly. There's no good reason for her to need his social security number. Her insistence is so odd. He even offered to use a background check service and give her the report. The fact that she only wanted his social security number so that her friend could misuse his access to federal databases is so shady. Good riddance to her. OP, you're better off without this one. I doubt there's probably a friend in the government, but if there is, he needs to be reported. If you know which friend she was gonna have run the background check, report him to his employer. Because he's 100% gonna get investigated and likely fired for misusing personal information. Totally. I worked for a state agency that had access to federal databases. I had a federal security clearance for work purposes. A coworker of mine abused the system, and our agency's management was alerted, and 3 weeks later, she was terminated. It's a professional privilege to have those clearances, and they should not be taken lightly. Next story. Am I the a-hole for divorcing my wife and telling everyone that she cheated on me? I, 28 male, have been married to my wife, 29 female, for 2 years and dated her for 4 years. I won't lie, I still love her and it still hurts me a bit to let her go. But I have no other choice but to divorce her because she betrayed me. I found out that my wife cheated on me. She didn't actually cheat. She was just kissing someone while dancing with him. To be honest, I never suspected her, and there were no red flags either, even when I checked her phone. Until one of her friends, whom I barely know, showed me a photo. I asked her multiple questions like if she sleeps around or repeatedly kisses someone else, etc. But she said this never happened before, and she was very drunk. However, she thought I should know. I thanked her and told her to forward that photo to me. I immediately asked my wife if she ever cheated. She denied it, so I showed her the photo. My wife started crying and said it was a mistake, the only mistake she has made, and she didn't tell me because she thought I would get angry. I said, "Of course you wouldn't," and then told her I was divorcing her. She was shocked and then said she anticipated that I would get angry, but she didn't think I would divorce her and throw away a relationship of 6 years over a kiss. I said I would and started leaving. She tried to stop me, but I didn't listen. She and our families both called me a lot and sent me angry texts. I ignored them all and instead got drunk and started going to clubs. When I had enough of this harassment, I sent a long text to everyone explaining everything and sent the photo. My wife sent me an angry text after I ignored her calls. She said that I shouldn't have told everyone about what's happening in our life, and her family members are angry at her. Some even cut her off. She said I should have kept it between us and that I'm going too far over a kiss when she was so drunk she could barely walk. So am I the a-hole for telling everyone that she cheated? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. She didn't actually cheat. She was just kissing someone. Brother, that's cheating. Not to mention she lied before you pulled out the evidence. What else is she lying about and not telling you? Yes, my brother, I know it is cheating. No one, man or woman, should ever be okay with this. I already made up my mind to leave her, and I will. I was just posting to see if I did the right thing by telling everyone that she cheated. I have been drinking heavily, and I'm still drunk, and I still wouldn't kiss another woman because I am married. Nobody deserves this. If I, or anyone else, stays in this situation, they will constantly live in fear of what their spouse is doing behind their back. What's the point of marriage without trust? Not the a-hole. I find it ironic that she was fine with involving her family when they were harassing you, but not when you told them the truth and they started harassing or cutting her off. If she didn't want to involve anyone, she should have kept her mouth shut. Cut the booze, man. You'll end up in the gutter with nothing. The only mistake she has made. I have a bridge to sell you. Yep, she only kissed. She only made one mistake. She was drunk. It was only this time. Haha. Cheater's Handbook Chapter 1. Excuses. Not the a-hole. She dragged the family into your marital issues, not you. She fooled around and found out, and does not like the consequences. Exactly this. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to hear my husband's side of the story? My husband was fired from his job today for sexual harassment. It's actually from a case that was almost 3 years ago. I never knew anything about it until he came home and started ranting about this lying B coworker. I never knew anything about this case until now. These investigations and incidents would have happened when I was pregnant with our child, who's now 32 months old. This is also after he had an affair with a coworker 5 years ago, and we went to therapy for that. So I believe the claims. I packed my stuff and my children's things to stay with my mother when I heard about the case. My husband is saying he has had the worst week ever and that I'm adding to his stress. I have been a stay-at-home mom for our children, and I have tried to be the best wife possible after his last affair. But the sexual harassment claims hurt, and he has been found legally liable for them. I really don't want to hear his side of the story this time. My parents and sister are helping pay for a divorce attorney. And my husband is saying he's having a crisis and that I left him at his worst time. I really feel nothing about this situation because While I was pregnant, he kept talking about stress at his job and yelling at me for being lazy when I was too tired to do much, and he refused to help out at home because of the stress. Now I find out this stress was probably his own making. He keeps texting my family because I have blocked him to tell his side of the story, but I don't even care at this point because of his past behavior. Not the a-hole. He had almost 3 years to tell you what was going on. You do what you need to do to take care of yourself and your children. If there was a sexual harassment investigation going on about me that I knew about, 1. Inform my wife. 2. Strategize with my wife. But this is because my wife knows I'd never cheat on her or sexually harass anyone. He created this crisis. He can't freaking use it for sympathy. Block him and move on, babe. I'm sorry you had a man like that. But now she doesn't. Good for OP for seeing what a piece of crap he really is and protecting herself and the kids from further hurt. He is in crisis? Of course he never thought about his wife and kids, their lives being uprooted and their crisis. It's all about poor him, poor him, poor him. And OP, it's not easy right now, but you and your kids deserve so much better than him. Wishing you all the best and sending strength and healing your way. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not getting back together with my ex-fiance for our son's sake? I, 27 male, share a 6-month-old son with my ex, 25 female. While she was pregnant with our son, she accused me of cheating. I wasn't. Gave me back the engagement ring and moved in with her parents. This was about 10 or 11 months ago. Fast forward, I still live in the house I bought when we first found out about the baby. I pay child support and we have joint custody. She still lives with her parents. Since we broke up, I have been exercising more and lost about 40 pounds. I am also starting to casually date. On Christmas Day, we spent it together with my son at my house. It was a fun time. Afterwards, she approached me about maybe us getting back together. Personally, I'm not particularly interested in doing that. I told her I would think about it. I told my sister about the conversation. She thinks I need to give it a try for my son. I think she has a lot of trauma from our parents not being together. I think we are doing fine co-parenting, and being in a relationship just for a kid is a bad idea. She then trauma dumped on me. I told my ex earlier this week that I wasn't interested in getting back together. She cried pretty profusely about it and was quite upset. I am 99% sure I am in the right here, but looking for other perspectives. Am I the a-hole? No, you're in the right. Being in a toxic relationship for the sake of the child is likely worse than your current arrangement. She made her choice when she accused you of cheating and gave back the ring. The ship has sailed. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Your ex has proven that she doesn't trust you, and that makes her untrustworthy in my eyes. It's usually the ones cheating who accuse others of cheating on them. Sounds like her side piece didn't work out, and now wants to come crawling back to the safe, stable, well-off dude that has his act together.